Helena Christensen became Miss Denmark at 18, giving the fashion world hope that she was a rising star who would soon shake up the supermodel scene.
Beauty queen to supermodel seems like a relatively obvious career arc. But in fact, I can only think of one person who ever went that route. That was Helena Christensen. She was Miss Denmark.
She quickly rose to the top of the modeling world and became a celebrated Victoria's Secret model in the 90s. But one thing held her back. She never wanted fame at all, even though it came to her so early.
Complete mess, it's like I don't really think about, how I look. I just wake up and go out the way that, I feel the day, the way I feel. I dress differently if I'm in the mood for it.
But let's give a snapshot of how it all started and how the heck on earth an ordinary girl from Copenhagen, Denmark became the queen of supermodeling. Helena was born on Christmas Day in 1968 and carried a mix of cultures as she was born to a Danish father and her mother was Peruvian. At 18, with zero strategy and even less expectation, Helena entered the Miss Denmark pageant. Again, that was a heck of a big step just for fun with no preparations for coaching. And for her natural beauty and charisma, she won. Just like that, the crown she never chased suddenly became a key to another universe. As a matter of fact, the course of life was upended after this astronomical achievement at that age. The next phase of her flamboyant life was set in Paris. And for sure, Paris was never going to be easy on anyone. She landed in a city that chews up the unsure and spits them out. But Helena, being a natural-born winner, didn't crumble and absorbed everything that came her way. The chaos, the lights, the cold looks from casting directors who didn't know her name yet. But being smart and canny, she didn't walk in with experience, but her instinct and natural talent that had already been discovered. Those early photo shoots weren't much welcomed and were criticized for no glam squad, no entourage, no filtered perfection. But still, there was something about her. Those piercing green eyes, the energy that spoke louder than words, opposing badass critics of the industry. So she didn't take long to prove that she was different, and the industry could understand this stark fact.
Helena, this way.
The 1990s became her decade, where Helena wasn't just in fashion, she was completely reshaping it with her unique charisma and character. So by this time, for the first time in her life, she was able to prove the fact that her skyrocketing success wasn't some industry fluke. This was gifted, undeniable talent, mixed with a personality so magnetic you couldn't look away if you tried. When she stepped on Victoria's Secret's runway, jaws dropped. There was something in her eyes, something in her walk that didn't just catch attention, but hijacked the whole scene. Then she joined the world-famous group known as the Magnificent Seven, which also featured stars of the day like Christy, Kate, Linda, Claudia, Naomi, and Cindy. These women transformed models into international celebrities and fundamentally rewrote the definition of beauty. But even in this elite squad of legends, Helena stood out and took her name to the horizon of the industry. Then she started taking over the industry with her killer combination of skills that was rare in the industry, confidence that radiated from within, and sensuality that never tried too hard. This effortless grace made her runway walk pure magic. So designers wanted her, and working with her was a dream for photographers. Viewers were unable to turn away. Then came that career-defining moment beyond the fashion world. She starred in Chris Isaak's Wicked Game, that black and white masterpiece from director Herb Ritz. On a Hawaiian beach, Helena and Isaak intertwined among waves and shadows, creating something hauntingly intimate. It had no actual plot and very little dialogue, but it was electrifying chemistry for sure. Her presentation was visual poetry that went beyond seduction.
Buckets of cold seawater on us to keep us wet, and it was a little bit of a wind, and she was freezing, and she was just shivering. And when I'm holding her close to me, a lot of times I was just holding her feeling like, you poor thing, hold on to me. It's like, you'd be warm at least.
The hard work paid off, the video blew up, and neither the viewers nor MTV could get enough. Helena's appearance was more than a model cameo. It was pure passion on screen that had a lasting impression on popular culture. It's still considered among the most iconic music videos ever made. Now, the supermodel was officially getting in her GOAT era. Long before selfies were a thing, Helena Christensen was already doing something amazing and innovative like this by being in front of the camera and behind it. After making her mark as a top model and changing how the world saw beauty, she surprised everyone by becoming a photographer. But this wasn't just about switching careers, it was her way of taking back creative control. After years of being told what to do, she started telling her own stories through the lens, and the photos were pure magic. She wasn't done just taking on the role of creative photographer. Helena co-founded Nylon magazine and stepped into the role of creative director. At that point, she was clearly pulling the cultural strings from behind the scenes. Nylon was something really more special than a glossy magazine. It was a bold, in-your-face challenge to mainstream media that was way more typical and less innovative. With that success, the actress became a real businesswoman who started materializing her ideas. She co-founded Boutique in New York's West Village, bringing her fashion genius directly to the streets. Now it was clear, Helena wasn't just following her passions, she was creating an empire. While the world was busy admiring Helena's beauty, she was quietly building something deeper. A full, meaningful life where she could just be herself when the cameras weren't watching. In that private space, she stepped into her most important role yet, being a mom.
Motherly love in 3 words: pure, infinite, honest. It's almost like you have a child, you fill up a bottle in a way with as much pure love and confidence that you possibly can.
Her relationship with In Excess's frontman Michael Hutchence became one of the most talked about romances of the 90s. Their bond was electric. It captured the spirit of the time. Their love didn't last long, but it left a lasting impact on both of them and became a part of pop culture history. When Hutchence tragically passed away in 1997, Helena was heartbroken, but she carried on with quiet strength. However, her love reignited with the new energy when she soulfully connected with actor Norman Reedus. The relationship blessed her with the joy she was craving for, her son, Mingus Lucien Reedus. After being a mom to a lovely son, Helena proved herself as a present and all-in mother, fiercely protecting her boy from fame's harsh spotlight. She put in a real fight to give him the most normal childhood possible, despite having 2 celebrities as parents. Another exceptional feat. Let's appreciate one especially important attribute of the model here, right in the middle of all the noise. Helena mastered the art of reinvention. While others let fame shape their identity, she took control and built a life around what truly mattered to her: being a loving mom, finding peace in the quiet, and never stopping her personal growth. Even with the world watching, she showed that you can stay true to who you are, especially while navigating motherhood in the spotlight.
Que todo el mundo se ponga a trabajar.
Helena never stopped surprising the world throughout her career. She kept growing and skyrocketing her fame even in her 30s, when many models considered the end of their career. She proved that beauty and purpose don't come with an expiration date. In her 40s and 50s, Helena didn't shy away from aging, but she embraced it. She became a symbol of timeless beauty, rocking her natural gray hair and choosing real self-care over quick fixes. While others were busy chasing youth, Helena was showing the power of confidence and authenticity. It was groundbreaking, along with being an inspiration for the next generations. But her story doesn't stop at beauty. In her 40s, Helena jumped into environmental activism with real passion. This wasn't a trend for her, it was a mission. She supported eco-friendly businesses, joined hands-on projects, and made sustainability a daily choice. At a time when the planet needed voices, Helena became one. Her activism isn't just a side project, it's a part of who she is. Whether through creative projects, photography, business, or charity work, Helena keeps evolving. She's not just relevant, she's setting the standard for what reinvention really looks like. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. What's your favorite part of Helena's journey? Drop it in the comments below.